Stock Bros, what's up? Hope everybody's having a phenomenal Saturday. Whoopa, it's Sunday. One day before the market opens. Yeah, so let's just prepare. Let's just break down some stuff. Hear what's gonna happen and what could happen based on technicals. Everything here is 100% based on technicals. We're not gonna be looking at the fundamentals of the company. So yeah, let's just begin. So actually, to start this whole video, this past week was absolutely crazy one. So here's a couple things that happened. So there was a hearing for Congress. I believe it was Congress. So anyway, they call all the big names: CEO of Reddit, CEO of Robinhood, CEO of Melvin, CEO of Citadel, and our man, Deep fucking Value, DFV. That guy has been pretty cool to experience this whole time with. Essentially, he was one of the first ones to realize with the possibilities of GME. And so this is what happened. After the whole hearing, he ended up posting, which he hasn't for a while. So the last one that he posted was 17 days ago, and he was posting a constant like day in, day out. So just for us to have an example, so he would post how his account was doing at the time, and I believe this one here is still in January because he was still pretty high up with $46 million. Anyway, huge account. He started with $50,000 in 2019. He really believed in this company, and so here we are. So anyway, he posted one day ago, today, basically this weekend, right over here. So if we were to open it, he doubled down his position on GME. His average now is about 26.79. So he would take the first 50,000 shares, which he bought at pretty low, I believe was like $4 or $5 or just around that area. And then he bought another 50,000 shares at the current price that it's at right now. I believe you can see it right here at $40.59. And anyway, so he has 100,000 shares. Do we follow him blindly? I don't think so. I don't think we should. We should totally do our due diligence because at the end of the day, we alone are responsible for our decisions. But this is interesting to see. He believes that the price right now is too low for GME. So just wanted to pop in here and just show GME. So I don't know. I do have a couple shares with them. I am holding. This is money that I'm totally fine with losing in case things go down to zero. But on the technical side, there isn't much looking forward to it. Isn't much supporting it. We're currently below the SMA. We're below the EMA. We are making constant lower lows. It's having the hardest time to break the EMA line, which is an easier line to break in consideration to the SMA. Our technicals, we have the RSI, which is totally on the oversold, and the MACD is neutral. So would I recommend people to getting in right now? I don't think so. Anyway, I just thought it was an interesting point that he just doubled down his position on GME. He bought another 50,000 shares. So anyway, that was kind of cool. But AMC, so AMC and BlackBerry actually have a few more things looking forward to it. So if we're to pop in on AMC, this is the 180-day chart, 4-hour period. So each candle means 4 hours. We can see that it was following the same track as the GME. It spiked down, and then it got rejected when Robinhood took the buy button out, and then ever since has been below the EMA. So what can we look for right here? So in the past, was it week or just about 2 weeks? So this here is Wednesday. So yeah, just about in the last 2 weeks, the price has tried to break the EMA, as we can see 3 times. So this is one, this is another one, this is another one, and then here on Friday, before the day fully closed, it broke the EMA and it's currently staying. So I'll just zoom in so everybody can see better. Every time that it did try to break it above, boom, hard reject. Try to break it, boom, hard reject. Try to break it, boom, hard reject. And then we are once again breaking the EMA line. We broke the EMA, we broke the VWAP, which is the white line over here. Monday will be a big day. It will either get rejected as other days have, or it will verify itself above the EMA. Now, two things here that are looking super good. We are above the SMA line, this red line over here. We are above the EMA, and there's a lot of room before the next resistance at about $7.40. The RSI is neutral, the MACD is neutral, it's starting to show more or less green candles, and the price keeps trying to break it consistently, as we can see here in comparison to GME. It hasn't. Constantly making lower lows, constantly making lower lows. So I'm a lot more hopeful for AMC. I am invested into them. I do have some shares. I will most likely be considering buying more this week if and only if the price does stabilize itself above the EMA and it does start to show like we could be seeing an upwards pattern. As for GME, a little bit more tricky situation. I will wait a little bit more in case I do consider adding more to my position. Now, let's move on to Air Canada. I just wanted to give you guys an update on Air Canada 2. I purchased it around here. This is in US dollars. I did purchase it on the Wealthsimple account. I believe it was $18 a share, my average. I'm up about 23%. And those are a few things that we were looking for this week. So it was making higher highs, which was phenomenal. And on Friday, we broke above this resistance that we had established, that the price was not able to pass, and whenever it did, it got rejected very fast. So once the price does stabilize, I will be looking to selling at about this peak over here. This will provide me another 20% profit in case it does make it to that point. But if it does start to show itself very hard signs of resistance, I may be looking to cash in. Keeping in mind, I can always buy in and always buy it out. Because I have no commission, there is nothing stopping me from buying the same stock over and over and over again. I am trading under a tax-free savings account, so I have to watch so that I don't day trade. But within the week, I can make several purchases and exits throughout the day. Now, this here under Wall Street Bets, I actually found out PLTR through Wall Street Bets. I really like that Reddit subreddit. It's been so good. So these were a few things that were happening. They just had two major events. They had an earnings report. As we can see here, they lost about $8 per share, which is not very good for the shareholder. And the other thing that they had is this stock is fairly new. And while the stock is fairly new, people that have invested in their IPOs have their shares locked for an X amount of time. I believe PLTR had a different IPO, but still the same concept that the shares were locked. And just about February, I believe it was just after earnings, those shares were able to go back into the market. So what does that mean is for this whole time period, because this is the maximum that we can see, for the last 140 days or so, they were not allowed to sell their shares. But once the day came after the earnings report, these shares could then be sold. They weren't locked by law. And so that can be a turning point for a lot of companies because people are looking just to cash in from the IPO. And so we'll see. But one thing that happened here that was super important was I was very hopeful for the SMA. I didn't purchase exactly at the SMA because like the last video, I said I was going to wait for it because we have to have confirmation to take a little bit more safe trades because that's what we're all about. The market's very volatile, so we might as well minimize our risk. And so it dipped below. I ended up purchasing not at the best price point. Once the price stabilized, that's when I ended up purchasing. Anyway, it dropped about 10% more and then quickly recovered. So right now I think I'm up like 3 or 4%, which is super cool. But we're right back at the SMA line. Not sure how strong this SMA line will be because the stock is fairly new still. And there's absolutely lots of potential. I'm not going to get into the fundamentals, but there is really cool stuff happening for PLTR. I'm looking forward to it. I am invested into this, but I am primarily focused on the technicals, and the technicals have to make sense before I add up to my position. Currently, I am looking for the SMA to, for the price to break the SMA, so that will confirm to me, hey, we're looking in a little bit better position. We are then bullish on this. But here we have established a couple points that are very nice. So just in case it was to get rejected by the SMA, we can look forward for this resistance that is just about $25 US, which can add as an easier point for us to put a stop loss in case the price starts to drop below it. Then we can just set our stop loss and then just be done with it. Wait for things to stabilize once again. But as of right now, MACD is looking very good. Let me just zoom in right here. So MACD, the blue line has crossed. The RSI is looking like it's not as oversold anymore. We're having some green candles here for the MACD as well. It's looking good. We're above the EMA line. We just need to break the SMA on the 180-day 4-hour chart for me to feel a little bit more comfortable. Next one is BNGO. We got a little bit of a request for this on the Discord group, which the link will be down below. I typically don't trade these type of stocks, as I'm still trying to learn a little bit about them. They're very volatile and I'm trying to minimize my risk. But if we were to just look from a technical point of view, we're constantly making higher highs and higher lows. So as we can see, this high and this low, then this high was higher than this previous low, and the lows were higher than the previous lows as well. And then the system continues. We're constantly going into the overbought, and we can see the MACD is an absolutely just pumping away. We're very far from the SMA. I'll most likely not be taking part of this until the price reaches a point where I can clearly identify an exit strategy, because for me, I have to have an exit strategy before I can partake into the stock. So much can happen. The price can totally have a pullback, which is not a change of direction. And I don't want to panic for this. So I definitely want to buy it exactly at a really good time. And I want to have a clear exit strategy right here, right now. Anything could happen between here and the SMA before we can start looking at a change of direction. I love how the stock has been going. It was definitely trading at 40 cents, and right now it's 13.60, which is huge growth. But for now, I'll just wait this one out. And if you guys have already been in at a better price point, that's awesome. If you're looking to get in right now, I would just be cautious. We're far extended from the SMA line. And again, I base my technicals analysis. Sorry, my entry points are strongly based on technical analysis. And right now, I think it's not the best time for me to consider getting in. Again, you guys are able to do anything that you want based on your confidence level and your risk management. And are you okay if you were to lose the money invested? Basically, don't invest more than what you have, or what you're willing to lose. And so, anyway, this is why BNG, I'm a little bit on the cautious side. All right, and lastly, we have SEAC, which I really like this selection here that came from the Discord group this week. And this is the reason why I wanted to break it down, is because I see actually a lot of value in this, at least in the short term. Again, I'm a short-term swing trader, so I won't be holding for too long. But I just wanted to show you guys the technicals. What are we looking at? So in the last 6 months, we've had the SMA act as a solid resistance. Price tried to break it, couldn't do it. Rolled down, got rejected. Tried to break it above, rolled down the line, but then once it finally did, previous resistances become new supports. And that's exactly what this SMA has become. From resistance, and now has been acting as a support, which is great. And so if we're to zoom in right on this point, right on this area, we're making constant higher highs. And what I mean by this is this low and this low are on a different scale. So this one right here is higher than the previous low. The highs are becoming increasingly higher. And so we're definitely looking good on this position. The MACD is having the blue line trying to break the beige, which is great. We're trying to break the SMA as of Friday, and the RSI is looking neutral. So we have a few things looking good for it. SMA, we're currently above the SMA. We are trying to break the EMA. MACD is looking good, and RSI is looking neutral. So now we can zoom in and see the last 5 days, or just the previous day. Post market, that's when the price got jumped really high, then it got rejected. Jumped all the way to $1.48. Now it's back to 136, or just about so. Sorry, 140. And on Monday, we should see some movement happening here. I'm actually very excited. I will most likely wait for the first couple minutes of the market open at 6:30 Pacific time, and then we can see if we can add to a small position, at least on SEAC. But I'm very bullish on this. It's looking super good on the technicals, and so I actually really like this pick. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. So last thing before we close this video was we made a logo. I'm so excited about this. We're using Adobe, so I made 3 of them. We have the original, we have the bullish bull, and then we have the bearish bull. So one is green, one's red, and the other one is like the original color. Anyway, I really like the 8-bit scenario, and so anyway, I really enjoyed this. Hope you guys liked it too. And it looks like on Discord we got some love. From our logo. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a thumbs up, click the subscribe button. Everything helps. We're still a small community, but hey, it's all fun and games. Anyway, don't forget guys, stocks can only go up. See ya.